Okay, well, third time lucky. I'm in Midtown Detroit, between Woodward and Cass Avenues, which is two of the main roads going through Midtown leading to downtown. I'm in an area of Midtown that I refer to as Zombieland, because that's the name emblazoned at the top of one of these abandoned buildings here, you see. The one on the left is the old Hotel Eddystone, which was quite an upmarket establishment back in the day. The one on the right is called Zombieland, or that's what I call it, because that's the name that's emblazoned at the top of the building by one of the local graffiti artists. I'll bring you a bit closer to the buildings. Like I said, this is Midtown Detroit. It's a very empty area. This is panning across to Cass Avenue, and I'm about half a mile from downtown Detroit. You can see some of the downtown buildings there in the distance. The large one on the right is the very famous Book Building, also known as the Book Tower, an abandoned structure. Like so much of Detroit, it is an abandoned ruin, just like these buildings you're seeing here. Now just walk a bit closer to Zombieland and the Hotel Eddystone, because I want you to see these. I'm showing you it for a reason. I tried to film it the other day, but the noise was really bad. Obviously there's no dead cat on an iPhone, so there is no method for muffling any wind noise, and it really screwed with the audio quality. But this gives you a good look of what Midtown Detroit looks like. Only half a mile from the main downtown area, which is the most built-up area of Detroit, and really the business district, if the city has one. Okay, so here we are at Zombieland, previously known as the Harbour Light Apartments. These buildings are very blighted. They've been scrapped by scavengers. Anything of value has been taken out of the buildings. That really affects the structural integrity of so many Detroit buildings, but it also makes it more difficult and expensive to refurb these buildings. Nobody wants to move into this area. Nobody wants to live here. Nobody wants to spend money refurbishing these buildings. No business wants to run its operations from here. I'm just going to pan across quickly. Look at this. We have signs of life in Detroit. That amazes me. There we go. Detroit's a very empty city. The city has lost so much of its population, it's not funny. In the area here I call Zombieland. Look at this. No traffic, no people. That's quite nice in a way. I like a bit of personal space. Some of the drivers on the interstate, on the freeway, are just crazy in Detroit, but there's no point complaining, because if you do, they'll say to you, well, this is the Motor City. There, more signs of life. Look at that, the guy on a bike. Check out the graffiti on Zombieland. Check out all the missing windows. There's not one window left in Zombieland. Hotel Eddystone still has a few, but not many. I'm showing you this area for a reason. More graffiti. There's so much graffiti in Detroit. Some of the graffiti artwork is so large that the graffiti artist can't use paintbrushes or spray cans, but has to use actual paint rollers, which are those cylindrical paintbrushes on a stick. Okay, these little side streets. This is the intersection of Park and Sproat Streets, which is where you'll find Zombieland, and this building here, the old Hotel Eddystone, which was quite an upmarket establishment back in the day. I've got to do this video fairly quick. So many Detroit buildings will be demolished. Some will be saved, most will be demolished. When they get demolished, they look like this. They become car parks. And there's a lot of car parking space in Detroit now. Not that there's much call for it, except on game day. You do get big crowds coming into Detroit for game days, whether it be the baseball, the Tigers that is, or the Red Wings hockey in the winter, or the Lions, who is the NFL football team for Detroit. There's some more detail from Zombieland and all of its missing windows. And here we come across to the Hotel Eddystone, quite an upmarket establishment back in the day. There's the main entrance, but it's now bricked up, so nobody can actually get in and take anything more. Any bricks, any copper wiring, any brass. Certainly brass would go in a hurry. So I'll go over here to the intersection of Sproat and Park Streets. Now I'm showing you this for a reason. Although this area is obviously very, very blighted, it does actually have a bit of a future. And that's what I want you to see. There you can see some of the downtown buildings in the distance. Hotel Park Avenue and the Book Tower. I'll just pan across here. This all used to be buildings. Stuff was here. There were buildings here. Now it's just possible potential for a car park. As I said, this is where they come for the Tigers games. This is where they park for the Tigers games. And in the distance over there, you might be able to see just Comerica Park, which is where the Tigers play their games. And they're in season right now. Okay, so here you go. Hotel Eddystone, with some of its windows left, but not many. And those that are left aren't in good shape. Panning across to the very beautiful Zombieland. Attractive in its own strange way. But, yeah, go, it's fine, yeah, thanks. Like I said, I'm showing you for a reason. That reason is this area, Park and Sproat Streets, downtown, is going to be the new home for the Red Wings. The three main entrepreneurs in Detroit are Mike Ilitch, Dan Gilbert, and Matty Maroon. Ilitch owns the Red Wings and another sports team. Dan Gilbert's a downtown financial guy, and Matty Maroon owns the old abandoned MCS train station and the Ambassador Bridge leading between Detroit and Canada across the Detroit River. What's happening here is this area will be refurbished by Mike Ilitch, so he's going to put in a new ice arena here for the Red Wings and move out of Joe Louis Arena. So I got to cut this now. You're in Zombieland, and this is Midtown Detroit, half a mile from downtown.